You cannot write off an author's entire run because he is forced to do a synergy book. Like, I need people to realize that, like Marvel and DC, but more Marvel, are creating, like, these synergy books so that they have something on store shelves by the time the movies come out, but they're really bad at predicting what the MCU is doing. So that's why we've had, like, I am specifically talking about Marvel. They are the worst attenders of this. But, so that's why we had, like, fucking, like, 3 different Thunderbolts books within the span of, like, 2 years. That's why One World Under Doom exists. It's because they're trying to get a Doom book out before the fucking MCU does Doomsday. Like, the fuck Marvel. I don't know why you guys keep on, like, expecting it to be different somehow. I don't fucking get it. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Last Week in Comics, where I talk about the last week in comics. I'm kind of not going to start off by talking about the books I read. I do want to bring up something that happened. So, if you watched the show last week, the AEW DC crossover is about to happen. For some goddamn reason, after I made the video, after we posted it, Swerve fucking Strickland leaked, like, a bunch of images. So we have, like, Will Ospreay and Nightwing. We had Mercedes Moné on panel with Batman, which is only notable because Daystar lost their fucking mind. Also, Kenny Omega's in a slutty little crop top. Or it's not even, like, a crop top. It's, like, a fucking jacket where, like, the Omega symbol's carved out. And, like, you can see, like, his abs and his chest. And I'm like, Kenny, what the fuck? Other critiques I have of this, they do not do a good job drawing what I presume to be Willow Nightingale. I can't actually tell. But Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl are in this book, so you know it's piquing my interest. Or at least, okay, so this might not be the full AEW DC crossover, but this was, like, the little preview, or whatever was being handed out for signings at New York City Comic Con, because it's called DCX AEW number 1, Forbidden Door Saga. Now, we have not seen the actual full book yet, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's fun to me, okay? It's been a weird week for me, too, in general, because I've made it known on this account, I am still currently a student. So, like, it's been midterms week, and I have been tired this entire week. I do want to talk about probably the biggest controversy that we've had this week first. I did not particularly read this issue, but I was a little bit looking forward to it, specifically Batman, Superman, World's Finest, issue 44. So, my personal opinion about the dynamic of Kara Zor-El and Dick Grayson's Robin is that they should be acting like siblings fighting constantly. Kara is, on a technicality, older than probably everyone else in World's Finest. On a technicality. Not actually, but on a technicality she is. She needs to treat Dick Grayson like he's a shithead younger sibling to also kind of balance out the weird shit that they did in the early 2000s with her, where she was like, oh, Dick Grayson's so cute, and Dick Grayson was like, you are a child. You are a teenager. Stop that shit. But, like, if we're going to put them in the same kind of age bracket, Kara is still going to inevitably be older than Dick Grayson. So, I don't know why Mark Waid decided to make them kiss. This is worse than the time that he made Viv Vision and Amadeus Cho kiss, and then immediately after Viv was like, I like women. We couldn't have that, like, it is worse inherently because, you know, Supergirl's not coming out of this like, I need to kiss more women. Which is the only way I would have been able to accept this. I don't know, I feel like with the closeness of Batman and Superman, you could flip that dynamic on its head with these two on a road trip. They could be at each other's throats the entire time. So I don't know why we're having to still do the thing where we're just gonna ship every woman that Nightwing has ever been, like, around with him, because it's pissing me the fuck off at this point. And probably, like, the thumbnail's gonna include it, because they, like, really wanted you to focus on the fact that, like, yeah, we're making Nightwing, we're making fucking Nightwing and Supergirl kiss. Look at it. Look at it with your eyes. We're doing this now. I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Bat Boys. The only one who seems to actually have well, no, because they did that fuck shit with Damien in the fucking DCAU. I hate them. I hate the Bat Boys. I think that they deserve death. Like, double death in the case of Jason. And DC writers, please stop being weird about women. We're gonna have a lot of this episode. We are. I forgot. I did actually look over Absolute Flash. We are going to have a lot of DC writers being weird about women this week. Alright, next on my list. Actually the only book that didn't disrespect women this week, which is Justice League Red issue 3. So in this one, we're kind of getting we're getting an actual explanation about Red Canary, and apparently she has powers now. She does this giant burst, and while Simon and Cyborg are saving her, essentially, she's kind of the key that Red Tornado thinks is going to help stop them from being, taken over by Darkseid. He is of course working with very little information. If you've been following DCKO and the other fucking 500 books that are associated with whatever we're calling this era, All In, Absolute, whatever we're calling it, you know that's not the fucking answer, but apparently he's sending them to go kill Black Adam. And then also there was this weird subplot where he was like, hey, I managed to get a portal to your home planet before it blew up so you can talk to your parents, and it's what the fuck how the fuck did you do that, Red Tornado, actually? Because it's not just going and creating a portal between two times. You would have to create a portal between the Earths, and more importantly, Earth I don't think exists anymore. Earth 2 isn't, it's not, it is the thing, but it's also not. It's fucking Earths and DC, they're so fucking complicated, and for what? This is why you can't say that there's just 52 of them, because then you do some shit like the Absolute Universe and are which number is it then? I still really do enjoy Saladin Ahmed's writing on this book. We finally got the last member, Deadman's in there. I don't know, specifically in the way Saladin Ahmed writes Simon, I think he brings a new breath of fresh air to Simon that not a lot of other writers understand. Simon stabs a giant dragon with a sword. That's my Simon Baz, And I don't know, it's really great to see a, story that's giving Power Girl a lot more depth than I think she has been getting recently. I think the last time we had, an actual, good Power Girl kind of understanding her trauma sort of deal was in the Supergirl special that happened a couple probably a year ago now by Mariko Tamaki. So we have that going for us. We're finally getting some shit on Red Canary. Because, again, her design is so fucking good. And then just, nothing has really happened with her. She's been in the background of some of the Green Arrow stuff. I really wish that she would have been on the Birds of Prey. I think she would have been a nice addition, but again, I think they just had too many people with black hair on that team. That's genuinely the reason I believe she was not in the Birds of Prey book, because people would confuse her and Sin Lance. That's the only explanation I have for it. We did a really good job with that. We're getting a lot more of Simon, of course. And I think that Saladin Ahmed should be able to write Simon forever, actually. And probably Jessica, too. Bring back Green Lanterns and let Saladin Ahmed write it. Cyborg has also been really good in the book. I feel like they've been attaching him to the Titans so closely recently that, it's just nice seeing him away from those fuckheads. Cyborg deserves better, honestly. I don't know where this book is going, and I feel like this is, the kind of mystery stuff I expected from the Question all along the Watchtower, and then proceeded to not get the entire fucking 8 issues that shit was running. So it's really nice. Please go read Justice League Red. I cannot be the only one buying these fucking issues. It's so good. I need Saladin Ahmed on everything forever. Speaking of South Asian writers who I think should write everything forever, let's talk about New Gods with Ram V. I still don't understand what the fuck is going on in this book. But I guess they're finally going off to actually, fully save this kid, which is nice. But the more important pressing issue of this issue, big Barta. Big Barta. Big Barta. Yeah, they made her fucking massive. Which, okay, I guess we were just saving how big she was till the... I don't know. I was about to say that, but then I'm like, no, this book is, like, actually doing, like, a really good job at showing how big Barta actually is. I think that, like, this and, like, Birds of Prey have been doing a really good job at that. So I do appreciate just making her bigger, but, like, given that the last issue and this issue has been them fighting the female Furies, you know, Barta's home on Apocalypse, I wish that we would have gotten more with that. I don't know. I feel like, with a book that focuses so much on, like, fatherhood, it's kind of weird to just kind of disregard mothers and stuff. Because I feel like they're only really doing this because the, like, kid that they're, like, trying to protect is a boy. But I just wish someone would do a fucking Barta series. For the love of God. I mean, like, we did get the Barta, like, young adult graphic novel, and I loved it. Which is why I wish that, like, mainline comics would do it, because not every comic reader is going to read a young adult graphic novel, and a lot of people still have the perception of Thomas King's Mr. Miracle, where, you know, it's like, oh, my bitch-ass wife is constantly on her phone ignoring me. And, like, if I was Tom King's wife, which I don't know if he actually has one, I think he might have just, like, stolen a couple kids. But if I was Tom King's wife, I would have divorced him after that book. Just saying. Or, like, divorce him before for the war criminal shit. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say about New Gods. I will not say pick this up yet. Because, again, we only have one more month of it. Presumably, I do believe it's only going to 12 issues. Go pick up the first trade and eventually the second trade when it comes out. Speaking of another book that I think everyone needs to pick up and trade, and also one of my favorite writers, and also someone who's been getting a lot of shit on Twitter from fucking Dr. Doom fans, Ryan North's Krypto the Superdog. When I hear people say that, oh, Ryan North's writing is so stilted, I fully understand that, A, they don't get that he's doing Kirby Lee Fantastic Four. That's what his book has been from the beginning. He has not been shy about hiding that. And 2, they don't understand. They've never read a single other Ryan North thing. Or were even reading the mainline Fantastic Four book, because issue, like, 30 was, like, fucking incredible. The Krypto Last Dog of Krypton issue 5 came out. It is the conclusion to the series, unfortunately. Honestly, with how much, like, dark, I wouldn't call them dark necessarily, but how, like, depressing the rest of the book has been, seeing Krypto finally being reunited with with Clark was just so cathartic. This book has been tormenting me with, like, just, like, hurting me constantly and making Krypto go through the horrors only to have, like, this very sweet ending. And, like, Ryan North, you're fucking crazy. When people let you just do what you want to do, you're fucking incredible at this. And which is why I don't... God, comic book fans need to understand and need to put into their brain the context of writing for synergy. And also that, like, writers can have bad books and still be good writers. I also just don't think that Doctor Doom fans read, like, comics at all, like, period. Like, they'll say they do, but I don't believe them. But anyway, yeah, I think in about, like, a month or two, I'm not sure which solicit explicitly it was on, but I do remember seeing it. They are putting Krypto, Last Dog of Krypton into trade. Go to your local comic book shops, go to your Barnes & Nobles, you know, wherever you can find trades, and pick it up. It was a good book. Like, I feel like I'm going insane anytime I, like, go back on Fantastic Four Twitter, and then I'm like, going back to the Wyatt Corner again. This is the Wyatt Corner, actually. This giant thing, his name is Wyatt Wingfoot. This is my Wyatt Wingfoot blanket, if you remember, like, over a year ago when I got it. Okay, I'm being too silly. Alright, now I'm just gonna read the books that I didn't fucking keep up with. Superman Unlimited issue 6 came out. I do believe that this... I can't remember if Unlimited's an ongoing or a miniseries. I do think it's an ongoing. Or at least longer than 6 issues. Because Dan Slott's still fucking doing stuff with the whole Kryptonite City thing. I've not heard much of this book. I heard a lot when it came out, but it seems to just kind of fall by the wayside. Which I think is fine. It's Dan Slott. I don't know what anyone expected of this book. I think it's still a fun concept. I just don't think that he has used it to its full extent. I did, however, hear a lot of good things about Catwoman, specifically this previous issue, issue 80. And also, I think issue 79, they're doing a lot of stuff with Selina's mother and Selina's upbringing, which I think is so cool to focus on. I feel like a lot of people try and write off specifically Catwoman's books as, like, gooner bait, and I do too, sometimes. Not this run. I haven't been doing it with this run, but I do it with, like, some of the Gotham City Siren stuff, and I understand people, like, getting a little bit tired of it because I'm tired of that shit. The fucking recent one where it's unfortunately gooner bait and too focused on men. But the Catwoman solo has been doing a really good job at, like, defining Selina as a character, like, outside of the whole Gotham universe, or Gotham side of DC. Or, I mean, she's still in Gotham, but you know what I mean. It's not all about Batman. I like having more women on books, DC. We're gonna get to that whole thing in a second. We're getting there. Nightwing issue 131 is out. As well, I don't hear much about this book. And I do think it's, again, the whole thing with Tom Taylor. Once he was off, then people stopped having as many complaints. But the few times I do hear about this book, I do think a lot of people are getting tired of it. In my opinion, I don't think that Nightwing should have runs like this. I don't understand how Nightwing can have 2 books, and yet we cannot get, like, one other, like, Amazon-focused book. We can't even get a fucking another Nubia book. Like, what is going on here? Misogyny, of course. I don't know. It seems kind of middle of the road. You either like it or you hate it. I definitely think it's worth Nightwing fans to check out, but, like, if you don't like Nightwing, this run is not going to make you like Nightwing. Oh god, another fucking Nightwing book. Titans issue 28. Are they still doing the bullshit with Slade? No, I forgot what they were actually doing. They're doing actually the crossover to DC, KO, all that bullshit, where they're essentially evacuating Earth. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, Tara's still here. Oh shit, and it ends with Granny Goodness and the Furies attacking, so maybe I'll check it out. I really like Granny Goodness. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. You know, obviously we're getting, I don't know. We have only had DCKO for, like, a little bit, and, like, I'm already sick of it. Let me go on my little DCKO rant, because I didn't realize what was kind of freaking me, why I didn't like this event until, like, probably, like, after I talked through it last week in comics. And, like, I think it's mostly because, like, it's trying to be too many things at once. It wants to be an easy to understand event, which, like, that's an oxymoron. It's trying to be a tournament bracket, or it's trying to be a tournament arc, which, okay, but you can't be a tournament arc if you are also trying to be a story that is going to continue whatever we've been doing with the whole Absolute line versus, like, mainline books. Like, you're trying to do too much, and you don't have enough pages to do so. And so now you're spreading out between books, and it's all just, like, you need to pick what you want to do. You can't do fucking everything in one event, DC. But yeah, sorry to everyone who's getting DCKO crossovers. Feel bad for you guys. I'm gonna talk about Absolute Flash first before I talk about that book. But so Absolute Flash is essentially I have not been keeping up with it. They lost Linda and they lost me. This issue especially is a Barry issue. It's essentially explaining kind of how Barry got to the point where he was unlocking the Speed Force that led to his eventual death, and also a visit from him from the future who is yelling at him, You need to give the suit to Wally. We're doing fucking Flashpoint again. And it's like, okay, man. Okay. You don't need to fucking yell it to me. I see you in the Flash shirt, but you're slightly older, and I understand what's going on here.
I thought Wally was always the main character.
Wally was always the main character. They're doing backstory stuff.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And so Barry went back in time to tell him from the past, like, you don't need the Speed Force, Wally needs it.
I see.
I was like, okay. This is normal Flash behavior. There was some weird shit going on with, so Eobon Thawne is a woman in this, which, okay. Weird sexual tension between the two of them. Your female villain doesn't always have to flirt with the male protagonist. I don't know why we made the thing, but fuck if I know. Now we're going to talk we're not really going to talk about Thomas King's Wonder Woman. We are going to, tell you not to fucking buy it, not to fucking read it, not to give it any fucking press, because Tom King is a war criminal, and DC tends to take people arguing and ranting about their books as a sign of good press. So, again, no press is the best way to get Thomas off of that book. I need people to remember that, because sometimes they keep on sharing around screenshots, and no, you need to focus on the fact that he is a war criminal and should not be working at all in this industry. Not about how good his writing is. Focus on that fact. That, and especially with DC's continuous Islamophobia, more specifically that Grant Morrison just recently gave a quote where he was like, no, I'm not apologizing for making Talia that way. The Talia I got was bombing people, so I just decided to make it worse. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Morrison? The thing I do want to talk about with Wonder Woman is the rumors that have been recently coming out that people think that Thomas King is going to be off the book soon, and Stephanie Williams is going to be the writer who replaces it. Now, if you don't know Stephanie Williams by name, she's currently writing Amazons and a Wee Wonder, the new DC Infinite webcomic. She's written Nubia a lot in the past. Honestly, I kind of wish that she's on a new Nubia book. And my personal favorite, Living Heroes, which is her free webcomic, I think everyone should go check out. And I'm not just saying that because Wyatt Wingfoot's in it, but she seems to be the only writer currently at either companies to understand him, and it is because she is a Dwayne McDuffie fan, okay? The reason I say that is because in Living Heroes, she made the exact same joke that Dwayne McDuffie made in She-Hulk Ceremony, calling Jen not... people forgetting that Jen is technically a white woman. Anyway, I digress. First of all, I want to address these rumors because I do think that everyone should keep pressuring DC to fire Thomas King permanently, and that includes not watching or following the current DC adaptations that they're doing, because Tom King is literally attached to every single one of them. He is James Gunn's current right-hand man, which says a lot about James Gunn. It does seem likely he will possibly eventually leave writing comics to go focus on the adaptation side of things, which, good riddance. I wish he would just be gone completely, but a slight win is a win. And while I do agree that they are going to move someone on to Wonder Woman, especially soon, given how much Absolute Wonder Woman is lapping them, most books are lapping them, badly. Hopefully that means that DC realizes that, the problem is Tom King, it's not the character itself. If everything goes well of firing Tom King, DC blaming him and not Wonder Woman, and the current book continuing, which, again, we're about to hit a reboot point, so it makes more sense to hire a new writer when we reach that. It's a whole thing. But even in, this perfect case scenario, in what world do you guys think that the racist-ass DC Comics is going to hire a black female writer? Especially for one of their prime white characters. There is Stephanie Williams has been pulling consistently. All of her runs are, amazing. She literally has the perfect resume to write Wonder Woman. They will not give it to her because she is a black woman. Please get that in your heads. I hope that I hope that Stephanie Williams is on Wonder Woman, but I think that's extremely unlikely. I think that's extremely unlikely. I think that's extremely unlikely, given DC wanting to turn more right wing by the day. Okay, I need everyone to set their expectations to that. At best, we are going to get another white woman on Wonder Woman. Kelly Thompson obviously is probably the prime choice, given her absolute Wonder Woman stuff. But given her absolute Wonder Woman stuff and the fact that Birds of Prey just recently got canceled, I would not be shocked if it was her. I would not also be shocked if they fucking brought back Gail Simone. I love Stephanie. Go support her indie works. Go support her in everything she does. I need everyone to be a little bit realistic right now. That I don't want to get my hopes up to. That's my rant about this. And I don't mean this to put, like, Stephanie Williams down. Well, no, I love her. I love her so much. But, like, I need everyone to be a little bit realistic here. Especially if we're about to get another, maybe not universe reboot, but at least number 1 reboot soon. Like, it might not be for a while until they start announcing those things. But, I digress. Okay, we're gonna move on to the indie books. And quite frankly, today, I'm just gonna jump straight to my favorite publisher, IDW. So they actually released a new, oh my god. Okay, so they released a new number 1 this week. 30 Days of Night, Falling Sun, issue 1 just came out, which is a part of a new line, apparently, that they're starting, called IDW Dark, which I guess is going to be essentially their, like, horror division, which, correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. This kind of feels like the first time an indie publisher has decided to make a dark, like, section. Like, indie publishers typically don't make the distinction. If they publish something that has darker, mature undertones, obviously it's rated, but also, like, that's either all they publish or they just release it under the regular catalog. So for IDW to start a new dark division is very interesting, and I want to see what other books start being associated with it or start coming out with it, because I know their Godzilla runs tend to either be really lighthearted fun, like Godzilla's Skate or Die, or they tend to be very, like, darker themes or darker imagery. And so I wonder if they're going to shift, like, half the Godzilla books, and that's why they want to make this distinction. So, like, people know, like, they also publish, like, Sonic, they publish Monster High, they publish a lot of what I would consider kid-friendly material. Like, it's not going to be, like, it's going to be stuff that kids, like, understand and know. So to kind of have that, and then also have, like, a dark brand makes sense for IDW specifically. So yeah, that's really fucking interesting. I might have missed this announcement. I need to start putting at least IDW's indies with my solicit announcements. But I know that they publish them weird. Okay, other things. So Godzilla Escaped the Dead Zone, which, again, is one of those more mature Godzilla books. I'm not saying, like, that it's completely mature, but it's on, like, on the ranking of Godzilla books, least mature to most mature. It's, like, right here-ish. Like, issue 3 came out for that. Now I have to, like, do this whole thing because I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, I need to do more research on IDW Dark. Maybe I'll come up with more stuff.
I'm doing it
next week. Stop ruining my plans. Okay, so Stack is telling me off camera just in case it does not pick up on my mic. Apparently, quite a few books that we have covered on the show have been a part of IDW Dark. Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees, the Twilight Zone books that we were talking about earlier. So I'm surprised it took until now to fucking have us realize this. Probably because unlike with, like, Beneath the Trees, which I got recommended, and the Twilight Zone, which we automatically read, this is the first one I, like, really looked at the cover.
Like, the Twilight Zone is IP. All the other things that they have announced, well,
most of them are original.
Except for A Quiet Place and Event Horizon.
Oh, Quiet Place?
Like A Quiet Place.
Oh my god. Okay. Honestly, if IDW Dark is doing, like, is doing IP work, that means that they're probably going to publish a lot more darker Godzilla books through them.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Which I will want.
Up to whoever controls the Godzilla IP.
Okay, but, like, it's fucking Godzilla. Like, they'll allow darker stuff, like, you know, Godzilla -1. Okay, we went on several rants. IDW also published Monster High House Hunters, which is a 5-issue miniseries that they are, well, we're on issue 4, but it is a miniseries that they are publishing through the months of September and October. Obviously for Halloween, it's Monster High. I'm going as Monster High for Halloween. It's a fucking, it's prime Monster High time in October. Okay, next on my list, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Seeds of Salvation, issue 2. Strange New Worlds? Ethan Peck! It's gonna be funny only to us.
I'm gonna go find that fan art on Tumblr again.
Ethan Peck! I don't like Strange New Worlds. I don't fuck with Strange New Worlds. You're talking about someone who fucks with the original TOS. I don't fuck with Strange New Worlds. What do you mean Spock is straight? What do you mean him and Nurse Chapel were together at some point? What are you fucking talking about, Ethan Beck? Don't watch Strange New Worlds. Watch TOS. Or watch Lower Decks. Or literally anything else besides Strange New Worlds. Fucking watch the Star Trek movie, the 4th one with the whales. Go fucking watch Star Trek for The Voyage Home. Go watch that instead of Strange New Worlds. Fuck that show. Spock is not straight, Ethan Peck. I don't know why I'm attacking him specifically for this. And then the next 2 are Ninja Turtle books. We got Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, which, oh shit, it's the new cartoon one. Is it a cartoon? It's the animated series / cartoon for the new one, you know. And then we also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder issue 2, which, okay, given the history of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I do think if they're going to expand, like, you know, if they're going to expand IDW Dark and include IPs, I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is another great example of a book that could fall in there. Because you, of course, have the Turtles books like Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which are more aimed and geared towards kids, but you also have the dark origin, or the more darker tone that the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles books took. So to kind of have that distinction's really good. I'm sorry, we just found out about IDW Dark, and I'm like, this is like the best idea I think anyone's ever had. I fucking love IDW. I need to read more Star Trek comics because, like, I feel like I've been, like, kind of overwhelmed with reading comics because of the series, and I need to start reading them again more, and I really like Star Trek. We've been watching DS9 now. I'm not fucking watching TNG. Fuck you. Oh my god, okay, on to the news and announcements. So first off, I was wrong the last week in comics when I said that Mariko Tamaki is most likely getting the Oracle book. It seems like from previews and what Jeff Lemire has talked about in the past, it seems like he is getting the Barbara Gordon book that was recently announced by DC Next, which again is a Barbara Gordon book. There was like some images of what we presume to be the Barbara Gordon book that were posted with him. It's either that or it's just a different ginger lady, and it might just be Deathstroke. I'm really hoping it's Deathstroke. But in good news for Oracle fans, they are doing a DC high volume on Oracle Year 1, which is labeled in there as Batman Chronicles #5 first ever adaptation. So we're getting okay, so for those who don't know, Batman Chronicles issue 5 is like the defining Oracle issue. It was written by Kim Yale. I know that author's name, and I don't even fuck with Batman. That's how fucking important this is. But it's written by Kim Yale, who sadly passed away due to cancer. And it was kind of like an exploration of her it was her using her own experience as a disabled woman to influence how she writes Barbara Gordon. And it is like the pinnacle reason of why it sucks right now that Barbara Gordon's disability has been erased. I highly recommend you check out this issue. It's great. I've read it. I don't even fuck with Batman like that. That's how fucking good it is. But it seems like we are getting some sort of adaptation or something with it, and that is really fucking good. I'm hoping that with, we know that, like, Kelly Thompson specifically, but, like, a lot of writers are pushing for DC or wanting DC to make Barbara Gordon disabled again. I've been pushing for it, so them doing something with Batman Chronicles issue 5, hopefully will keep to the experiences of Kim Yale, and we might be seeing the return of disabled Barbara Gordon again. We might be seeing the return of Oracle officially. I also think Kim Yale, I don't want to bring up a woman's husband, but Kim Yale's husband also, I believe, is still working at DC right now. Yeah. By the way, Kim Yale's husband is John Ostrander, aka the guy who wrote the really good fucking Suicide Squad run that, like, everyone's basing their shit off of. And so, like, I'm like, really, really fucking hoping that this is a good adaptation or good news about, Batman Chronicles issue 5. I'm really hoping. I want it to be. I want it to be. Up here is, your next recommended video is another episode of Last Week in Comics. Is it an episode of Ash and Their Fantastic Friends, my live show I do every Saturday, 9 p.m. EST? Is it something else? I don't fucking know what's up there. They don't tell me shit on YouTube. Down here is the rest of the playlist for Last Week in Comics. If you want, I've been doing this since November 2024, which is a long ass time. And also, conveniently, right after they announced IDW Dark, so that saves me some grace. And over here is the subscribe button. I have more videos planned and coming out, and of course I still have this show I'm doing every week. White Wingfoot video essay. We all know the promise of White Wingfoot and how sometimes it does not get delivered. I will be delivering. Okay. Unlike certain artists on Twitter, I will be delivering you some White Wingfoot content. And you don't even have to pay me for it. So subscribe, like, comment, share, all that kind of jazz. I've been talking for 50 minutes. I'm done. And cut.